All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. That moment when you look at a situation and just think, this is too much. This is bigger than me. You know that feeling? Well, today we're going to unpack a principle that completely flips the script on that feeling. It's a powerful way to look at fear and to actually overcome it.
Yeah, we all know that feeling, right? That sinking pit in your stomach when you're looking at, I don't know, your finances, a health issue, a tough relationship, and you just think, nope, there's no way, this is impossible. It's a feeling that connects all of us, for sure.
And you know what happens the second that feeling hits? Our brain kicks into gear with something we'll call internal calculation. It's like this automatic, instinctual thing where we start measuring the problem against, well, us, our own strength, our own resources. But here's the kicker. What if that very instinct, that default setting in our brain, is actually leading us straight into a trap?
Okay, so let's get into it. What's the real reason we get so stuck in that cycle of fear? The answer might surprise you.
So, this quote, it comes from the ancient Israelites. Picture this. They're right on the brink of their promised land, and they're terrified. They look out and say, "These nations are more numerous than I. How can I dispossess them?" I mean, that is internal calculation 101, right? They're counting the enemy, sizing up their own limited power, and basically deciding they've already lost. And come on, haven't we all been there?
And this is the heart of the whole problem. That internal calculation, it's a trap. It's a flawed equation. Why? Because while we're so busy counting the enemy's numbers and our own abilities, we forget the single most important variable, the size of God. When you leave that out of the equation, you're always going to end up with fear.
See, this is why we say fear isn't just about what you're feeling, it's about where you're looking. It's an issue of your gaze. When you're looking through the eyes of fear, the problem looks huge, and God gets forgotten. And that just leads to paralysis. But when you shift your gaze to faith, suddenly God is bigger. The problem gets smaller. And instead of being frozen, you're moved to action.
Okay, so if the problem is a bad calculation, what's the fix? Well, it's not just about trying harder or pretending you're not scared. It's about something deeper. It's about using what we could call intelligent memory.
And this is so key. Notice what God doesn't say. He doesn't say, hey, just stop feeling scared. He doesn't command you to shut down your emotions. No. He says, remember. It's an active command. And that simple word, remember, changes everything.
So what are we supposed to remember? We're supposed to remember this: the great trials, the signs, the wonders, the mighty hand, the outstretched arm. This isn't just, poetic language from the story of Exodus. This is God's track record. It's a highlight reel of him completely demolishing what seemed physically impossible. Think of it like this. If Egypt was the absolute impossible and he broke through that, then the problem you're facing now, well, it's part of a game that's already been won.
This is what we're calling spiritual intelligence. It's the ability to look back at God's faithfulness, all those times he came through, and apply that as hard evidence for victory in what you're facing right now. It's not just a nice memory. It's data. It's precedent. It's proof that you're on the winning side.
But look, I get it. Maybe you're thinking, okay, that sounds great, but why is my prayer taking so long to be answered? If God's so powerful, why isn't this fixed yet? That's a fair question, and the answer reveals God's incredibly precise care for us.
Because here's what God himself said he would do. I will drive them out before you little by little. See that? It's not a sudden explosion. It's a process. And that little by little isn't a sign that he's struggling. It's a deliberate, calculated strategy.
And that's because that little by little isn't a sign of inability. It's a sign of God's precise care. He knows that if he gave you the full blessing all at once, you might not be ready to handle it. So he's preparing you. He's building you up so that you're ready for the victory he has for you. It's an act of love.
So what does all this mean for you right now? It means it's time to do something drastic. It's time to throw away your calculator. Seriously, I want you to ask yourself this. Do you really think that God who parted the Red Sea can't solve your problem? Is that thing you're worried about bigger than a literal ocean standing in the way? I don't think so. Because here's the bottom line. God isn't some abstract principle or a distant idea. He is reality. He's the one who actively gets involved in your life, right here, right now.
And that God, that reality, is speaking to you today. And he's saying, fear not, I have already done it.
So right now, if you believe that promise, if you are ready to kick fear out and decide today that you will claim this victory, for anyone who believes that every impossible situation in your life will crumble before his mighty hand,
Let's do this together. Let's seal this victory and make it yours right now. Respond with all your heart. Amen.